mean, especially if it's live, it's like, whoops.
Well, it was during the Baldur's Gate 3 segment, obviously.
Oh, that was something. That was what part I was going to mention. A lot of the people that worked on Baldur's Gate 3 just got the axe from this too. Even though that was like the one shining bright spot in everything. That's part of the whole like, this is just stupidly short sighted. Like, cut the people at the top making the dumb decisions, not the people making the thing that's making you money.
Well, apparently somebody removed this little part of the speech after the fact.
Well, and the problem is that, like you said, people at the top, there are positions that are just ridiculous. I mean, things that don't, like it'll be like like some sort of HR position for like employee satisfaction. And like, well, no, 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 we got to keep that VP of that because that's it's like, well,
As,
no,
as if HR is actually there to help the employees.
but like say a position like that, like yeah, it's important to have good employee health, but guess what? You can do that through their management, through the teams and stuff like that. You don't need somebody on there to be like, oh, I saw this thing that we could try. That it's like, no, just if you want, if you want to know what your employees think, let them take a survey, and then figure out where you need to work and focus on. You don't need somebody that just that's all they do is make sure that they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, another random bit of gaming news. You see that E3 is basically done.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought it died like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything related to it since it used to have live coverage on G4 years and years ago. But yeah, apparently like it's done. It's over with. That's it. No more consumer electronics show.
Yeah, so like, well, why do we need to have an actual physical location for this? We can just feature people online showing their stuff off. Yeah, you can't actually see the stuff working, but you know what? You just imagine that it's working. You know, imagine that this demo that we're doing is actually live and true and working for you.
Imagine these things in this commercial are actually in the game you're going to buy.
Yeah, well, heck, imagine that the game that you're buying is already complete.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I just bought this game on, whatever. It's like, oh, I got a day one patch I have to install. That's like the entire game. That the
Well,
CD is just the CD to tell you that you've actually purchased the game, and now
I was going to say, I think you're about to get to imagine actually buying the game.
I mean, like in the past, like if you bought a cartridge game, what are we going to do if like, oh, well, sorry, this game's not complete. You can't download an update. What do? Take your cartridge in, and they have to load an update onto it. I mean, don't get me wrong, you did actually have virgin cartridges, but usually the cartridge that went out had to be somewhat functional. But then they would say, oh, missed in player testing that if you know, crouched 1,000 times in this one section, you could face the floor and make it to the end of the game in no time. So we're going to patch that out because who the hell would have thought about doing that?
Well, or they just don't patch that stuff out, which makes the speedruns fun to watch.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think the speedrun category where it's like where it's it's not a glitchless one where it's like okay I can find a way that I can like phase through this wall and I can make it to the end. There's one for uh, a Link to the Past where you can jump off a thing, pause and save it right at that time, restart the game, and immediately phase through the wall to make it to the end screen because the end screen's in the Hyrule Castle. So
Yeah.
you can just face through the wall and go to the end screen and get the Triforce, be done. And it's like you can do it in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. Like the amount of time it takes you to get to the castle, jump off the thing, pause and save the game, and then immediately restart the game back up, make it back to the castle, or you're in the castle or whatever. Go to this one section and just start running through the wall. Because some reason when you save it jumping off a ledge, like at that moment in time, like there's no collision. Like
Hmm.
collision is turned off at that time, and when you save it, collision remains off, so you can just phase through the wall and then make it to the end.
Huh. Sounds like that one glitch in, I want to say it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where there's a mission where it involves you on a motorcycle and you got to get to the pier or something. But if you fail the mission, all the traffic in the game just stops. So basically, the game is ground to a halt. Well, then if you put in well, I don't know what the code is to get everyone super pissed off and fighting
Yeah.
you. You basically like turned it into zombie apocalypse mode because now the game, all the traffic is stopped. and you're just fighting random people in the streets constantly, basically in the place of the zombies. So yeah.
I was thinking more of the one in Vice City, where if you got the tank I'm gonna say the tank cheat, but I said the tank cheat, that you could turn the gun backwards on it and fire, and if you went off like a bridge, the thing would just take flight, and you could start flying the tank. It may have been in combination with like the low gravity or something, but yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for watching. This has been a Geek Ball video, Echoes of a Whisper. This has been a clip from one of our podcasts. The link to the actual podcast this is from is in the description of the video if you want to see the entire thing, which we obviously encourage you to do. But otherwise, if you enjoyed what you saw, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Subscriptions and all the rest is definitely appreciated. Comments, as always. But just in general, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. And check out the other videos we have here on the channel. See you later.